Today we'll be looking at the UCL admissions process and how to get into UCL for engineering. So typically UCL has engineering courses which have grade requirements of about A-star AA. So this is near the top range of entry requirements needed for engineering courses in the UK. Typically, a lot of engineering courses in the UK will need A-B to the A-star, A-star-A seen in Oxbridge and Imperial, and UCL being in that A-star AA category falls near the top of the ranked universities for engineering. So UCL doesn't actually provide a general engineering course, but it does provide separate strands of engineering. So you could be doing mechanical engineering or electronics engineering or any other type of engineering that you might find interesting. They do cover a wide range of bases. And along with this entry requirement of A-star AA, you need to try and make a good impression when it comes to applying through UCAS for UCL, because this is one of the only other ways in which they base their admissions decision. So for other universities for engineering that might be more highly ranked according to some league tables, such as Oxbridge and Imperial, they'll use interviews and admissions tests for the basis of their admissions decisions. Whereas UCL don't tend to do that. They call candidates up for interview in a small proportion of cases, but generally it will just be based on your personal statement and predicted grades that they use for admissions decisions. So because of this, making sure your personal statement is as well written as it could be and shows that you have a good capacity for studying an engineering degree, any of those types of engineering degrees that they have on offer. This is really important for candidates to demonstrate that they have an enthusiasm and aptitude for engineering, because if you don't have one or the other, it's very likely that you'll drop out from the course, which universities really don't want to happen for their students. So they want to ensure that you are going to enjoy the course and that you have at least the minimum level of understanding of a lot of your topics to be able to succeed, or at least do quite well on that course. With the personal statement comes a few questions. So it's not how it used to be for UCAS applications where you used to write a 4,000 character essay, whereas now you're given a set of questions to show your motivations and interests and why you want to study engineering or that course in general. So this is a good chance for you to show any extra reading, any projects you've taken on, any clubs that you've taken part in or that you've headed. This is a way for UCL to see that this is a person who's serious about completing an engineering degree and might possibly carry on for research or use their engineering background for other purposes. But the main thing is to show that you are someone who could persevere and finish this course, because these engineering courses are not easy, especially at a top university such as UCL. Now, with the personal statement part of the UCAS application, you also need to input predicted grades. And making sure your predicted grades are as high as possible is probably the biggest indicator to a university that you could do well on its course. So personal statements might be slightly less weighted. So personal statements might be weighted slightly less compared to predicted grades. Or in some cases might be weighed a lot less compared to predicted grades, because predicted grades are almost a tell-all of whether you'll be able to do well on a course. If you get more A stars, that typically shows you have a higher, more in-depth understanding of topics, which means that when it comes to higher level concepts or topics that you encounter on an engineering degree, you'll be able to do really well on their course. So the higher the grades, the better your chances of getting an offer from UCL. So with the A-star AA requirement, I would recommend that your predicted grades be at least that, but typically A-star, A-star A, or hopefully the 3 A stars. This gives you a really good chance of making a good impression on the admissions tutors, and also puts a bit less pressure on your personal statement. So you might have not the most interesting personal statement or answers to the question set, but if you show that you've got a good track record of doing well and that you can get good grades, and also just still generally show that you are interested in engineering in some capacity, this should be enough to be able to receive an offer from UCL. There's no need to submit your application very early compared to universities such as Oxford and Cambridge, but usually submitting early does give you a chance to show them from the initial batch of candidates that you are a possible that you'd be a possible highly regarded candidate, So getting that application in early gives you the peace of mind to know that you should also hopefully receive a decision quite early. Because if you submit, let's say in October or November, where most candidates might submit later, so towards the January end, near the deadline, you might be able to hear back earlier and make other decisions from then. So with UCL, in order to get into engineering, you want to make sure that you have a strong personal statement and that you also have very strong predicted grades, as these are the only things that they can really factor in when making admissions decisions. And if you are called up for interview, typically it will just be to show you the campus, have a bit more of a gauge or understanding about what your interests are, like where they might lie, and understand how you might benefit from the course itself. Thank you for watching the video. If you found that it was useful, then feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any friends that you think might benefit from this video too, then feel free to share it with them and hopefully they find some value in it as well. If you have any questions for us, then feel free to drop a question in the comments below and we'll aim to respond to them. If you feel like you could benefit from some more admissions advice or support from an admissions consultant such as myself in getting into UCL for engineering or top universities in general, then feel free to contact the profs on the information provided on screen right now. And as always, best of luck in your preparation and application to these courses.